Right, so what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Welcome back to another first ride review, and welcome back to Bournemouth Kawasaki's. Massive thank you to the great guys here. You would have seen last time we reviewed the 1100 SX over there. Today we are on the new Kawasaki Z900. Now, only a few months ago, one of my first ever times talking on camera, I did a first ride review on the previous generation of this bike, and now we have a new generation, which is a big improvement. I think we have some better looks, like this new front cowl in there, which looks, front headlights I should say, sorry, which looks really good, and it's been redesigned and it looks so much better in my opinion. We got some other nice upgrades, like we have a new dash which looks super nice, and yeah, quick shifter up and down, few little tweaks here and there. We also have an SE model which is in kind of high in demand and hard to get hold of at the moment, but that has bits like Brembo calipers, Öhlins rear shock and the likes of that. So yeah, well upgraded in my opinion. We will get on the road. Well, firstly we will take a look around the bike, sorry, and we will go through the stats on the bike and get on the road and see how it is and see if it feels much better. Now obviously I did only a short ride on the previous model, so my comparisons aren't going to be too thorough, but yeah, let's see how this bike feels for the first time to ride. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. I think it looks really good. I wasn't the biggest fan, and I think I commented on that in the Z900, the previous generation really, but I think they've really brought up the looks on this and it looks a lot better in my opinion. We will go through the stats on the bike. Now this is 122 brake horsepower, so plenty of power, perfectly in line to compete with the likes of the Yamaha MT-09. This features a 948cc inline 4-cylinder, liquid cooled of course, and it's got the new 5-inch TFT display, which is super nice. It's got 97 newton meters of torque, and it comes in at about 213 kg wet weight, which is actually quite heavy compared to the MT-09 for example. However, it really doesn't feel like it's as heavy as it actually is, which does quite an impressive job of hiding that weight, and it doesn't really look like it's that heavy either, to be honest with you. But yeah, like I said, it's got the latest generation of quick shifter and auto gripper from Kawasaki, which I have previously ridden it to this clip, and it is incredible. So good. It definitely beats the likes of the MT-09 in my opinion, but you know, subject to opinion. It feels great either way. And yeah, it's a really nice looking bike. We will jump on it, take a little look at the dash and stuff, and show you through some of the tech on the bike, but I'm not going to go too in detail with that, as this video is mainly to show you how it feels to ride this bike for the first time. So yeah, let's jump back on. Now, swing a leg. Obviously nice upright riding position, very comfortable, very easy to flat foot. I'm 6 foot and there's even quite a bend in my leg, so very approachable for shorter riders. Clutch feels extremely light and easy to get along with. Yeah, let's get on the road. Immediately, super comfortable bike. It has a very short feeling to it, like the front feels very short, and one can only assume from that this thing would be an absolute wheelie monster. Obviously I'm not going to do that in this video, but yeah, it gives that feeling. The new colour TFT there looks incredibly nice as well. It's almost a bit like a aeroplane dash what they've gone through here. They have kind of the angle degree of when you lean, so when you lean you see that rotates, It kind of had the rev range going around almost like a fighter plane a bit. I think that's probably the vibe they're going for with that. It's got the latest generation of quick shifter and auto blipper from Kawasaki on this. The auto blipper down feels super nice, super snappy, but super satisfying to use, and it feels incredibly smooth. And the same thing can be said about the quick shifter. It feels really, really nice, which we will get a better feel of when we get to pull away in a second. Yeah, look at that. Oh wow, incredible. Straight up into sync from that auto blipper, or quick shifter, sorry. You know, 20 mile an hour, and it just kind of goes through the gears that effortlessly and that smoothly, like butter. You barely even feel that you change your gear. There's no snappiness, no delay, no aggressiveness. It's just sublime. I kind of said the same things in the 1100 SX video, and this is an even more up-to-date quick shifter from Kawasaki, and yeah, it's incredible, to be honest. I haven't really rode many bikes with a better feeling quick shifter. Yeah, super impressed with that. And of course, good test here around town and in traffic. Incredibly easy to get along with. Obviously it's not too heavy of a bike, so it's easy to maneuver. Clutch feel is beautiful, nice and gradual, not too snappy, anything like that, so it's easy to just kind of go with the traffic. Brake feels are nice and gradual, they're not too snappy, but once they have the right amount of bite there, that they're there when you need them, but when you just want a little bit of braking, they feel very good. Obviously, like normal with the rider modes, we'll go through that more as the ride goes on, but we will have a rain mode, sport mode, road mode, and then normally they have the rider mode, which is where you can custom the power level. They normally have a high and a full, and then they'll have 3 or 4 levels of traction control and an option to turn that off. It has kind of wheelie control, all that built in with that as well. And yeah, that's that for town riding. Ticks all the boxes nicely. As for the rider modes, we've got the rider mode here, which is where you can customize it. So you can go across there and you can turn the power to low or full. And then obviously traction control, you have off, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, 3 levels of traction control. You can come into the actual menu here. You've got different vehicle settings. You can turn the shift lamp on or off. You can have it kind of go mental when you get to 4,000 revs to change it to change gear, etc. Display, you can change that in here. So you've got the kind of aviation looking one that we've seen, and then you also have this one, which I'm going to go for, which looks a bit cleaner. You can change the background, so it will either go to white or black for daytime. You can have that on auto, or you can pre-select that yourself. And just the general little bits like date and clock service, Bluetooth, all that kind of jazz. We don't care about any of that. There's the other screen. Start it up. Take a little listen. Obviously, nothing too crazy, but Euro emissions is killing the sound of this bike, but with an exhaust system that would sound amazing. And you kind of do get a bit of intake howl here, which helps the rider, gives you a bit more enjoyment, gives a bit more character to the bike, while still complying to the emissions laws. So that's quite a nice bonus that a lot of manufacturers do. If you don't like it, you can put a full system on it and you won't be able to hear the intake howl. But for the people that want to keep the standard system, it's nice as it gives you a bit of sound from here when you're riding, but then it's not too loud for the people outside of it. But yeah, sounds very good, all nice tech. But let's do the proper test and jump back on it, head to some country roads and see how it is. Right, on to more open roads. Now you'll have to excuse the audio in this video. It's a really windy day and it's kind of come out of nowhere, so hopefully the audio isn't too awful for you guys. If it is, I do apologise, but yeah, I'm just impressed. I mean, look at this quick shifter. I'm going to repeat it a million times in this video, but the quick shifter is just so good. It doesn't upset the bike at all, it doesn't jolt, nothing. And of course, as always, with a Kawasaki review, I'm going to rave on about how brilliant the engine is. Now, inline 4 cylinders can be a bit boring at times, and yeah, I can't argue that. But one thing you can't deny is how incredibly smooth they are. They are just fueled so perfectly, and Kawasaki have really just smashed the power delivery out of the park, because it's just so linear, so perfect, so smooth, and it makes the engine feel super premium. And it almost gives kind of Rolls-Royce, Bentley vibes in a way, just from how smooth and effortless the engine is. It's definitely the least agricultural and the most premium feel of an engine, in my opinion, and that's just because it's smooth and effortless and there's no drama with it. And yes, that does slightly take away from the character of the engine. So it's, yeah, what do you like really? Do you like premium smoothness, or do you want a bit of character but kind of sacrifice that level of easiness and smoothness of the engine? And that's kind of where the different engines come into play. Something like a V4 is going to be much more characterful, but it's going to be nowhere near as smooth and pleasant to cruise on as an inline 4-cylinder. So yeah, of course this bike does an extremely good job of cruising, commuting long distance miles, and just sat at constant speeds. Why was it windy though? So apologies for the audio. One thing I'm a bit surprised about actually is when I was looking into the figures of this bike is the weight of it. You know, what is it, 215 kg or something like that? It really doesn't give that impression. I think probably the engine takes up a lot of that. I think they're probably quite heavy engines, these inline 4-cylinders, and that tends to be a bit of a pattern with them. They are quite heavy. But the bike really doesn't look that heavy, and my god does it not feel that heavy. And I know most bikes do tend to hide their weight quite well, but you ride this bike and it feels like a very lightweight naked bike. It doesn't feel like the weight it is, and it's very apparent when on a nice country road like this, because the way it handles and the way it leans in makes it feel like it's a lightweight, nimble bike. And you know, whilst it isn't lightweight, god is it incredibly nimble, handles beautifully. It's very confidence inspiring. You don't at all feel sketched out getting on the side of that tyre. And yeah, very nice, good feel through the front brakes as well. Like I did say earlier, it's very gradual on the brakes, not too snappy. And whilst we do that, let's do a little test. Yeah, plenty of stopping power, but it's good how it kind of gradually gets to that stage. It's very easy, manageable to kind of play around and feather the brake, I should say, to get the right amount of stopping power. So yeah, very good on the braking department, of course. And you can also get obviously the SE model, which has even better brakes than this with the Brembo calipers. So yeah, you've got plenty of options there when it comes to the braking. Definitely not lacking at all. And here we will get a better feel for the acceleration. Of course, it's incredibly rapid, and you can see kind of the traction control battling there to keep the wheel on the floor. Some nice corners. Oh yeah. Oh, it handles so smoothly as well. Wow, that feels so good on the side of the tyre. I might be speaking too soon because it's only a short ride, but it feels surprisingly good for a naked bike in corners. Wow, they're good. So it feels extremely capable, and I don't feel like many naked bikes have this feel. Might be slightly carried away with that. I'm sure bikes like the Street Triple are very similar, but yeah, that feels really surprisingly good in the corners. Obviously the bars aren't massively raised, so you are in a slightly forward position compared to being totally upright, but still upright enough to be extremely comfortable. Yeah, it's just a very, very relaxing ride really. You don't feel any aches or pains. You don't feel like you have to be flat out everywhere. You can quite comfortably take a seat back and just relax and enjoy the views, enjoy the ride. And yeah, there's not really much vibration at all, you know, very, very minimal, but nothing you wouldn't expect from a bike. And generally it gives an incredibly smooth feeling. I think I've probably said that for about the 20th time, so if you fancy a drinking game on this video, do it every time I call the bike smooth. But yeah, it's just incredibly smooth, not buzzy or anything, and it's, yeah, perfect bike really for all-round year riding really, and all kinds of roads. This bike will do an incredibly good job of handling it. Pillion wise, I'm not too sure on. It's quite a small bike in size, generally speaking, and you would have seen earlier in the clips, the pillion seat isn't hugely accommodating, and in fact we do have cruise control on this, which works the same as the 1100 SX. Press this button here, plus the speed, lower the speed there, and obviously you set it with a button at the bottom. And when we get straight in a minute, I will quickly put that on so we can have a little feel of the pillion seat. Right, so cruise control, there we go, set to 41 mile an hour. Seems a decent steady speed. I don't condone this, but just for the sake of the video, jump back onto the pillion seat. Yeah, it feels incredibly hard, a lot harder than the rider seat. And to be honest, I've been on it for 10 seconds and over the bumps, that is incredibly hard. So yeah, pillion wise, not the best. Maybe a seat upgrade would do that for you, but I definitely don't think your passenger will be very happy with that seat, the standard seat anyway. Other little bits I can pick up on, I say this in every Kawasaki video, I hate the gas cap or the petrol cap, I'm English. It's just, I find it very plasticky, and the looks of it just looks a bit cheap, and it kind of annoys me that you get the same petrol cap on a 125 Kawasaki that's, you know, 4 or 5 grand as you do like a 20 grand ZX-10i. You get the same fuel cap. I know I'm very much picking at straws here, and I want to, you know, be brutally honest in these reviews. I don't just want to sugarcoat it. That is something I pick up on, but again, clutching at straws, a fuel cap is a very easy fix. You know, a lot of people, when you're going to get a bike, you want to put nice little bits and bobs on it, make it a bit nicer, and fuel cap is something that is very easily fixed. On the topic of U-turns, you got very good, as you can see, very good spread of turn and circle there. You can get a good leverage on turning the bars. Very easy to maneuver really. Like I say, it doesn't feel like the weight it is. Maneuvering it around is incredibly easy, and yeah, it's just, everything is just kind of effortless on this bike really. And generally speaking, this would be a really good commute, I think. So you certainly won't get handling like this on a sports tour. I mean, wow, that is absolutely incredible through that corner there. You know, the 1100 SX I just rode before this was good in that corners, but obviously you really can feel that this bike is much smaller and much more nimble, and it really shows how much better the handling on this is to the Ninja. And I mean, I'm kind of stating the obvious, the Ninja SX isn't going to be a bike that's particularly designed for handling, but you can definitely tell that this is more nimble and more capable in the corners. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't even go as far to say that this bike would be pretty damn good for a track day. It wouldn't be your typical pick a bike like this, but I think it would handle it really, really well actually. Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with this. I really like it. Another thing I can demonstrate quite well whilst we're going slow, again, another comment on the quick shifter, but look at this, 29 mile an hour, second gear, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, like that. Like it's I'm going on about it so much, but it is probably the most impressive thing on this bike to me, is how incredible that feels. Right, so now we are coming out of the countryside section of this review. I think the biggest thing to take home about this bike is the handling. Now obviously this is a sport naked, and this comes very close to sport bike handling in my opinion. It does just feel incredibly good handling, and it doesn't feel like you're really sacrificing much at all over this to a sport bike, which is incredibly impressive from Kawasaki. and that is the biggest bonus of this bike. I'm noticing that, and the quick shifter, and also just the general all day, all year round, any type of scenario riding, this bike does that incredibly well as well. So generally speaking, it is for a sporty naked bike, it is a perfect package, as it offers the amazing handling and it's just so capable in twisty roads like a sport bike, but then it also has the usability of a naked bike. So yeah, it's an amazing bike, and it's got everything, you know, cruise control, and it's got every possible part of a recipe to be a perfect all-round sporty naked bike. So yeah, Kawasaki are definitely competing extremely well with the competition with this bike, and I don't know whether I'd be half tempted to say I would take this over an MT-09, to be honest, because I think it looks a little better, and I do think that I would potentially prefer this. Another slight thing I'm going to comment on to finish off the video is heading back to Bournemouth Kawasaki now, and I'm starting to get a sore bottom. I haven't been on the bike for particularly long at all, really. I'd say about 20 minutes since I last stopped, so to get a sore bottom after 20 minutes on the bike isn't the greatest. Maybe it's similar to Yamaha, where they deliberately seem to put a hard seat on it as standard, so then you have to pay £300 for the comfort seat. Not totally sure. I'm not sure if there is a comfort seat offered from Kawasaki directly, but yeah, I would definitely be looking at getting a better seat than this standard one, because yeah, after 20 minutes, that's not the greatest, really. Right, so there we go, guys. There is the 2025 Kawasaki Z900. What an amazing bike. As every time with Kawasaki's, they always seem to just impress me as being incredibly good all-round bikes. All of Kawasaki's lineup seem to do that very well, and this is no exception. And to be honest with you, this is a bike I could quite happily see myself riding on a daily basis, as it's just a bit of everything done perfectly. And to reiterate how good the handling, I said, is on this bike, as you can see, it's now got no chicken strips on it. So yeah, very impressed with that bike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, and make sure to subscribe for plenty more videos like this to come. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.